Hello, baby.
Who is crazy ones?
I'm thinking of a number.
Hey guys, I have a what should I watch? The Five Bloods
The
or
Five
Trial
Bloods.
of Chicago 7?
This is such an easy answer.
Okay.
Of
yeah,
course you
but
gotta watch
wait,
Trial of this Chicago 7 because they support the troops.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna,
And the
I
Five
want
Bloods
Frank Langella.
not supporting the troops. Actually, wait, no, you could watch both of those at the same time, and it's like, this is what's happening in Vietnam and also the present day, and here's what's going on stateside and also back then.
Yeah,
I always
you
I'm
have to
looking
line
for
them up so the
Yeah.
You're
timelines
like
will match.
describing like Primer. You know what I mean? You know that movie Primer, like one of the best, like supposedly one of the best like sci-fi movies of all time.
I was gonna say I
have
need
you-
a movie that's like.
Oh, so you've seen Primer, Spencer? No, you haven't.
No,
actually.
I've never primed, but I've heard
Okay.
Prime. I've heard Prime. Do you think there's gonna be like hearing Prime in the future?
You think that
when
guy
we have-
gives good Prime?
That's right. That's what they're. That's literally we're gonna say that when with President Bezos. And he takes over.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It's gonna be like everyone's gonna be like, this Primin sucks, dude. It's good. What's the swear that they had in Battlestar Galactica, like fracking or something?
Yeah, it's like something like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that. Where
Yeah,
it's just
froth,
like
a frack.
it's gonna be like every swear word. It's gonna be ass, damn, shit, piss, fuck, all of them. It's gonna be just Prime.
Yeah, Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Get the Prime out of
Hey,
here.
you Prime head.
Primo.
I guess this would be like
Yeah.
not if Jeff Bezos was president, but if Jeff Bezos' enemy was president.
Yeah, that's
Some
true.
billionaire
Yeah.
with a full head of hair.
Yeah. Well, that would. Yeah, you would think that Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos would hate each other
Yeah.
just because of their
Just
hair.
because they're balds and hairs.
Yeah.
It's like shirts versus skins, you know? Or Skins, the TV show?
I was gonna say, which British show is Shirts?
It's the opposite of Skins. It's about a bunch of I don't know what
really
Skins is
good,
about. Yeah.
like functional people.
It's about
I think,
functional
like
people.
nice.
It's
Yeah,
kind of like
whereas
it's just a nice show about people who are nice to each other and don't have any conflict. It's very popular on the
Yeah.
internet.
I was literally talking about this, I guess, with my roommates, where like, that era where like, oh, it's a Netflix comedy, which just means a sad person is sad all the time. We talk about this on the podcast also.
Yeah, I mean,
think.
I think I pitched it. I've like told people to watch this
Yeah.
before. But,
I pitched a tent.
but what is it? It's not Clip Cup. It's the spin-off of Clip Cup. Complicated is like a parody of those kinds of shows, and it's like so spot on. But my favorite bit is it's like a boys' poker night, and they're all talking about Star Wars, but like they're talking about it as though the only movies that exist are the sequels. So they're all just like, "Man, you're such a fucking Kylo Ren." It's like, no, I'm not a Kylo Ren, dude. I'm a Finn.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's a good bit though. It's such a good bit.
All right, Kylo
Yeah.
head.
Hey, head.
Whatever, K-head.
That's right. Dude, you're such a Sith loyalist on Exegol
That's
right now.
right. They say
actually.
that in the Star Wars universe. Dude,
Yeah,
are you from Exegol? Because you sound like it. You got the Exegol accent. And that's just when you talk like, yes, I'm from Exegol.
I don't think anyone. Not to correct you
Okay.
here. I don't think anyone from. Well, okay. Here. Okay. I was about to say. I don't think we've ever heard anyone from, like, literally from Exegol talk, because, as we know, Palpatine is from Naboo.
That's so true.
But if the visual dictionaries and well, that's canon. So, if we are to believe them, every person who is a part of the Sith Eternal Fleet, the Final Order, they are from Exegol. They were born on Exegol. So,
Is this
the random captains, I think, who would be... No, I don't think we get any of them, because I think the only officials we hear are First Order people who are, helping out the Final Order, like General Pride. So I guess, yeah, we don't even know what an Exegol accent
it's in one of
sounds
the
like.
comics. They describe it.
Do they...
I'm writing
Do
this
you-
comic, and I'm going to release it
Okay,
myself.
I see what you're
yeah.
saying. Wouldn't... If Snoke was made on Exegol, would Snoke have the Exegol accent?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I mean,
Alright.
like test tube
Yeah.
babies, they all have the accent of wherever they're put in the tube.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So many people, they're from New York, and then they go down to Atlanta to a fertility clinic, and then they get a baby, and it grows up, and it's like, hey ma, hey pa, where's the iced tea? And they're like, what the fuck happened here?
Yeah, I want to take the A train down to the G station and
F my
go on canal.
A. They're always talking about like that in New York.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
welcome
these
everyone
letters.
from New
It's
York.
Letter Town. Alphabet City, man.
Alphabet City.
Yeah, the whole city is Alphabet City now.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Hi guys, welcome to Sound Direction Mentor Podcast about the stuffiness. I'm one of your hosts, Ethan M. Wong.
And I'm a second other host, Spencer.
Yep.
And I'm your other host, MJ.
We're all hosting today. We're like a fucking parasite's
Virus.
wet dream. Yeah. Parrots. Parrots?
The parrot's
We're a
sight.
parrot. Yeah.
Parrot
Well,
site.
A parrot's wet dream would be a pirate ship. So
They
Yeah.
like being on pirate ships, yeah.
I don't think
it
it's
would
like one of those
be
things
would
where
be like the Fruit Loops.
Or like crackers.
well,
Just like a
first
bunch
off,
of crackers.
MJ, I don't want. I mean, the Fruit Loops. He's a toucan Sam. That's not even a parrot. Okay,
Yeah.
first of all. So
They're like
shut the
cousins.
fuck up.
Yeah, but, okay, we're gonna become an exotic bird podcast now.
That's right.
Yeah, what
You
else
know,
do
bird.
parrots like?
Bird. What else do parrots
Other
like?
than crackers and being on pirate ships and like...
Peg leg people.
They do like
eye
peg legs.
patches.
Do you like when
bandanas on the head.
the parrot has like it's like, oh my god, this parrot has a peg leg or an eye patch?
Yeah, I
Is
like that. I like
it's
that a lot
awesome.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
It's like
glad
it's like
that
a
this
it's like a dog
that-
wearing human clothes.
Well, I'm just glad that the parrot has been like maimed. I'm so excited to see
Oh.
that. Yeah.
Does
I
that
want that to
imply-
happen actually.
Does that imply like combat with other parrots?
Parrots, yes. Oh my god, we need to do like a pirate movie where this happens. I can't believe this hasn't.
They had to what do you call it? Amputate because of infection.
Yeah,
That's so
that's
true.
true.
Has there ever been like a like one of those like knockoff like Pixar animated movies, but it's about like pirates, parrots? It's like a pirate movie, but just following the parrots.
And what does that parrot have on his shoulder?
The parrot,
A bug?
Yeah, but actually, yes, he has a flea.
I think that's too small. I
Okay,
think,
too small.
actually.
Okay, so what's is there like a smaller bird? What's small? What's larger
do
than
fleas
a flea?
fly?
I don't know. I don't think so. That's why it lives on the.
It would have to be like a dragonfly or something.
dragonfly?
Like something kind of like
What's something
bigger,
in the
you know what I
sea?
mean?
What's something that exists in the sea?
Well,
A
why would
bug.
it be on his shoulder?
A crab. It's a little crab.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, because he's a sky creature and that's a sea creature. It has to be this way.
Because when
Because
it's about humans, we're land
We're
people.
land
it's the
people
sky.
and we have a sky thing, so it's land sky and then sky sea.
Except the sky one is the host on in
Yes.
this particular example.
Exactly.
So it has to go opposite, is what you're saying.
has
Why
to.
wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it be sky space creature?
Well, space has Mars creature. So if you're from space, you have to have something from Mars on your shoulder. You have to.
Oh, it has to go opposite. You're saying
Yeah,
space
and I'm talking
instead of,
about
like a
all of space, even the shit that's like really far away from Mars.
Okay.
So
yeah.
when humans go to space, we're gonna be so lucky because
Uh-huh.
Mars is like right there. But for everyone else, every other spacefaring civilization, first stop has got to be Mars, and that shit could be a hike.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
But if you have faster than light travel, I mean, maybe it's
FTL,
not that.
that's true.
FTL
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that.
Yep. I got DTF actually.
That's right. DTF travel.
Din Tai Fung.
Didn't I fun travel?
Yeah, my car it's called DTF travel. It's a fuck shack actually.
Yeah.
This is a mentor podcast.
It
I swear.
is.
You know. That's right. I was recently talking with my friend. Well, our friend Sirhan, and it came up, and I got a real brain, not a brain teaser, a little thought experiment for you guys. And this is a kind of a throwback to an article I wrote called "What is More Dressed Up."
Ooh.
But we were talking, and we were going to this like art thing together like the next day, and we were just hanging out the day before, and I was like, oh, you know what you should do? You should wear like a merch T-shirt and a suit. And he's like, oh, that's crazy. And I'm like, no, not really. He's like, yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to be dressed up. And I'm like, what do you mean? And so, yeah, I was like, no, like the T-shirt negates the suit. He goes like, no, I think more people would see the suit and be like, well, he's clearly formal because he's wearing a suit. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting now. I disagree. But what do you guys think? T-shirt.
I disagree. It's wrong.
Yeah, he's wrong.
Yeah,
right?
It's that simple. Anyway, sorry. I had to plug in my laptop, but it was being funky.
Damn, it's got that cool bass line.
Yeah, it does. It actually has a really nice bass line. But anyway, no, I think, I don't know, like maybe I'm just being too much of a traditionalist about what the actual definitions of like formal, semi-formal, or whatever. But like I wear sport coats like casually all the time, and I don't consider myself like dressed up. It's a jacket. It's like a more formal jacket. But if the rest of your outfit is casual, you're casual.
Yeah,
I feel like it's like one of those things where it's like if you wouldn't like go to work or go to a wedding or go to some other event that has an explicit dress code wearing that, like it's not formal.
Yeah. Well, so then to add on to this, it was like what would be read as more formal, right? It's either like suit and T-shirt or jeans, leather shoes, sport coat, necktie.
I think suit and T-shirt.
More dressed up?
No, less dressed up. I think that's the more casual.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then we were like, okay, what if it was like business casual, like Michael Bluth, and then like
I
a
still think
guy
the
wearing
suit
like
and the T-shirt.
a T-shirt
It's
and
the
a suit.
graphic tee
I
like,
agree.
That makes it more casual.
It's the graphic tee that does it.
Yeah.
But if it was like a nice like a nice like ribbed plain T-shirt, I think that could be dressy.
Yeah, if it was one of like the
like
anthology tees or like one of those like kind of like 60s like mock neck things, something that has a little bit of shape and structure to it, then yes, that is more formal. But it being like a if you're wearing like a beat up fucking Country Joe and the Fish T-shirt, like that's not formal. No matter what else you're wearing, you could wear like a tux with it, and it would still be It's like subversive, but it's casual.
Yeah. I mean, I think like to me a T-shirt is extremely like it's so like it negates like everything.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, like this guy's it turns the suit into like, oh, it's not like a suit, like suit. It's like two things that match as opposed to like a suit, I mean, I know that's the definition of a suit, but yeah, then it came down to, okay, what if like we're just talking trousers, like trousers and sneakers versus jeans and like a dress shoe.
That one's tough, actually.
I would give it to jeans.
I think so. Jeans
and I think
and
the
dress shoes.
The dress shoe, because it's like the shoe dictates like, and we had a whole podcast, by the way, about this. Guys, listen to the episode on picking the right shoes, quotation marks, for the outfit. But it's like, I think like the shoe kind of dictates what your activity is, and so it's like, oh, it's jeans, but you have to be dressed up, so you're wearing leather shoes. But if you're wearing trousers or like a sneaker, it's like, okay, well, you're bouncing around. I guess I don't know what you do in sneakers.
You're
but
you're going on a like LA hike like right after,
Oh,
wherever,
exactly. Yeah.
where it's just like walking for like on paved ground.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. And I was like, I still think that the sneaker makes it more casual. Like, it doesn't matter if it's like a trouser.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wish I had like the screenshots of like the conversation he sent to his friends, because we were like in real time. He's like, I'm gonna text my friends who are like not menswear guys, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like I want to know what they think. And it's funny. Like later that night, you know, like two of his friends came and they're really nice, and you know they're not menswear people at all. But I think when I explained more, I think they got more on my side. But I think Sirhan was not upset, but he's like, "Well, you're like reframing it, like you know, because if we just said t-shirt and suit, I'm like, I mean, yeah, but in my head when I say t-shirt and suit, I mean like graphic t-shirt, you know, like, and maybe in their head they're thinking like a nice like what they like the t-shirt they would wear with a suit, which is probably like a plain one or something. So it's like no, like I'm referring to like a band t-shirt, like it doesn't have to be like ratty. Like it doesn't have to be like holes, but like a Grateful Dead t-shirt and a suit, I feel like is so casual compared to a guy wearing even if it was like a guy wearing a gingham button-up, chinos and desert boots. I'm like, well, that guy's like dressed up a little bit, or he's a little bit formal. He's business casual, you know. And I think that business casual, traditional business casual, is more formal than like creative office guy, you know, like again graphic
because
t-shirt
like,
with like some
there's
like
less
designer
room
ass suit.
for free expression, I guess. So yeah, you can like I said, I think it's like subversive when you when you're dressing something down, but yeah, the opposite is like, oh, I'm dressing up this pair of jeans, so that's making it more formal.
Yeah.
Versus the suit where you're making the whole
thing. Yeah, are you punching up or punching down? Yeah, no, I was to his female friend. I think we compared it to like, okay, you're like wearing like heels with jeans, or wearing like New Balance with like a little like khaki trouser. And I think at the end of the day, also they're like, what if this is like the same thing? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, because you're kind of like you're bringing one down and you're bringing one up, and like maybe it's like they're both casual because they're both not formal. So it's like. And then I think I ended the conversation there. But hey, chat, let us know in the comments which one you think is more casual or formal. I guess we have our visual example that we're going to post, I guess, for one of the things. We'll have a photo. Well, maybe it'll be like Drake's versus like, I don't know, like some kind of fear of God. I don't know. We'll pick a good example. We'll try to make it hard for you guys, and you have to tell us which one is more.
And
if
you get it wrong,
the quiz.
You know,
there will be consequences.
You're dead to us.
You should
be
so
dead.
Only get cancer.
But it's fine. Nothing else.
Only that. That's from the King of Comedy.
Yeah, that's right. The Ren Faire guys. That was fun.
And Stimpy Fair? Yeah.
That's right.
And John Kay was there.
A bunch of, what are they, dogs?
And they're dogs. Yes, they are dogs, because Ren is... No, wait, Stimpy... Which one is which? Stimpy is the little one or big one? I can't remember, man. This sucks. I used to watch that show.
Okay. Ren and... Yeah,
no, I'd watch the kid version for children. Yeah.
Okay.
Stimpy's a cat. Oh yeah, because so he's the big one, right? Yeah. And then Ren is like the little chihuahua.
Yeah. This show is crazy. I don't like.
We need to do an episode about like every '90s animator dressing like a '50s guy.
Yeah, you just watch the Ed and Eddie behind the scenes, and you're like,
they
love
like.
This
I mean,
shit,
John Kay has his like weird cat eye glasses, and he wears like '70s like big collar shirts all the time, and he fucks kids. Yeah,
he's the bad one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's. Yeah, I remember watching a TikTok on that.
Dude, it's like bad. It's bad.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of dressing, up. I mean, I feel like this year at the Ren Faire, there were way more people.
Yeah,
like,
it seems like this has been picking up, man. In the last couple of years, I've seen like my entire Instagram feed is going.
Yeah, we love the Ren Faire. It's very cool. And I wore my riding boots to it. I feel like that makes the whole fit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like, talk about the right shoes. I guess, this is what ties it together. It's, you could wear like, most guys, right? They'll do like the whole like boot cover thing. Or they'll wear like, like some kind of desert boot, but like, wearing riding boots really helps sell, what I'm wearing as like, okay, this is like a Ren Faire outfit. And I think it's also good because like I think a lot of guys now are like buying like a repro or like I guess it is repro if it's like based on like an old like a centuries old thing. But yeah, I was very impressed. Like walking around, like obviously I think a lot of girls have like a lot more of them are dressed up now. I think it's, with fashion kind of exploding in the past couple of years, people are like reappropriating like like white flowy dresses, or like wearing like Edwardian dresses with like a corset, kind of like piratey kind of stuff all together there. But I'm also impressed with, again, like I said, like all the guys who are actually wearing, like closer cobbled together like stuff, as opposed to like I mean, you do get like guy wearing big shirt with like skinny jeans and like boots, but like there was still like people wearing like capes, or like more of like actual poet shirts, and then like kind of like tucking their pants into like their boots or whatever, which is also what I did.
Nice.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Very expensive.
Did you go to the
drunk.
horny snack booth where they feed you and make you and say shit, or like make you drink wine, whatever it is?
No, yeah. I didn't want to get a boner in public.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
You mean you didn't already have one?
Yeah, I wasn't pitching a tent. I did instead buy two $20 tall boys.
Man, that's crazy. I get
and,
3 of them for my 7-Eleven for like $5. Like,
yeah. I mean, to be fair, like it's like, I mean, it's $16 plus.
That's still a lot of money.
But that's basically $20. You know what I mean?
And the ticket to get in is how much already? It's
like $50. Well, when I buy it a year in advance, it's like $40 or $30. And we did pregame in the parking lot. And here's the thing: when I went, I mean, people might have seen this on TikTok, but I went on like the worst day. Apparently, there was an EDM DJ who was announced their presence, like I think like a couple days before, so like people just flooded it, and so getting in was pretty bad. And I was able to get out, but like I was eating. We were gonna go to Islands because like, okay, we want something like burgers or whatever, and we. Like, it was only like the people in my car, because like when we finished, people told me, oh, they just got out. Like that's how packed it was. Like it was, people were in like the line to get out for like 2 hours, because like it's like a 1 lane thing, and like you go, the exit is like at a stoplight, so you can only go a certain amount of people at a time. But apparently I was an EDM DJ. I saw the video of it. It didn't look like there was that many people. Like, I mean, it didn't feel like a festival or whatever. And like at least the music that they played was like in the vein. Like it wasn't just dumb music, but a lot of people it's like split the Ren Faire community, because it's like like people were really upset. But like, oh yeah, like we don't want influencers here. But I'm like, well, at least she dressed up, and like she didn't like just play like I don't know what EDM artist stuff there is. I don't know Tiesto. That's also like really old, actually. That's like 90s or early 2000s. But like at least she like did like remixes of like fucking
crazy,
jigs and shit. And I didn't feel, I mean,
it's like a Bob Dylan moment. Is that what it sounds like?
yeah, people were like, Judas, and she said, I don't believe you. Play it loud. I mean, I also didn't feel like when I was walking around that there were a lot of people. However, again, I was drunk as shit, and I probably wasn't like doing like a lot of, I mean, also I was able to watch the joust, so like I didn't feel like I was like
too much,
not doing anything. So, but I probably was just lucky. But anyway, I was gonna say, like we parked our car like at 10:30 or 11, but we didn't walk in until like 1, because we were waiting for like other people to like join us, and so that was a lot of drinking in the parking lot.
How much did you drink in the parking lot?
And for those of you, I don't know. Okay, I did like I did a little rum and cold brew, because I needed that shit. And then I drank quite a bit of Buzzball. And then I had like a beer.
Dude. That sounds like a
like
terrible
a beer outside
of things in your stomach.
Yeah, and then in the actual Ren Faire, I drank 2 tall boys. I think it was like I got like a mango card or something like that. And then I had a little bit of like, I did like a half thing of not mead, was like Angry Orchard. I wasn't as hungover as the first time that we did it, because that was the worst one for both me and MJ.
Yeah.
But I did feel very tired. I mean, Spencer saw me when I came back. And I was like,
long day.
Yeah. That's an insane picture, by the way, MJ. That's wild as hell. And how does that sound? How would you say that?
Did you guys see the HBO documentary about the Ren Faire guy? It's so good.
No,
man.
I know
everyone needs to
the guy
watch this because it's crazy. They worship him like he's a god. He like created his own town in Texas. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I did watch this.
I want to watch that again. I'm gonna watch it fucking today.
I'm gonna watch it right now.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm gonna try to make it next year. I want to go again. That was fun.
Awesome.
I want to go to the fair, man. I want to go to the regular ass.
Yeah, it's
county
still
fair.
happening.
We still have time. Right?
It's too late for me.
Yeah,
it's too late.
There's like 2 weeks.
I'm dead already, man. I want to go to the OC fair or the LA fair or whatever. Just I want to go to a county fair. I haven't been in so long. Gotta get a giant turkey leg or something. Fry cube.
Yeah, you know, I'm down. I haven't done that in a little while. Okay.
I love the fry cube.
Yeah.
Fry cube.
Give me the fry cube.
I know. Well, okay. I remember the one time we had it like 4 or 5, no, maybe like 7 years ago at this point. But I was like, it's not a cube, really.
There are
it's kind
some
of
that
like
are
a bird's
cube-shaped.
nest of fries.
It's just when it's compact.
What do you mean? When you say some,
It's like a stack.
like when you
though.
say,
like
I remember it being a
I
perfect cube
don't know
when
if it's
I was
exactly
a young boy.
cube of
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've lost recipes, man.
it's the photos versus reality.
You're a little bit like Steve from Minecraft. You're like fry cube.
I am like Steve from Minecraft in many ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually what we're doing. Trump and Steve,
and we're doing the Minecraft movie.
Yep.
For the bonus episode. You know, I haven't seen the movie. I don't know if I'm going to, but like I was like,
I think it's too late now.
I think it is, but well, they're bringing it back for like the meme screening, you know. But
Crazy.
he's wearing like a '60s
Yeah,
sweater
he
turtleneck
is.
thing, right? Yeah.
Yes, which again you would assume is because he's been in there since then.
But no.
But that is not. No, he goes in as an adult.
As an
I feel like
adult.
it's just a weird. It's just a weird.
It's just a
Well, because
costuming
it's like
thing.
everyone's dressed like retro, like because I read the plot summary, so like Jason Momoa is like an '80s guy, so that's why he's dressed that. But
Well, but it's a modern movie.
Yeah, but who's
Like,
the
as in,
who's,
like-
but I'm just saying it's like, oh, he's stuck in the '80s. That's the joke.
Yes,
Who's
yeah,
the
yeah,
who's
yeah,
the
yeah.
chick in like the jumpsuit, like the ski set, whatever.
I think that she's just kind of like a cool person. You know what I mean?
So that's like a cool. I'm wearing this retro
like
outfit.
2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's a 2020s kind of a thing. Minecraft movie here. I'll look it up here.
Now we can include a photo of the Minecraft movie in our Instagram.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Did they say that in the movie? Oh fuck, chicken jockey. Damn it. Fuck.
You're gonna start saying chicken jockey as like a swear replacement.
You're such a chicken jockey.
I feel like this is gonna get so annoying so fast. Like, I mean, it already kind of is. I did actually want to see like a crazy screening with a bunch of teens. Not because I wanted to hang out with teens, but I just wanted to experience that, like
the theater experience. Yeah,
the theater experience.
Thankfully, when I watched it, they didn't throw popcorn at the screen, but they did like jump up and be like chicken jockey, and then they were kind of good for the rest of the movie. But like,
why is it that?
They
Why
were
was that the
it.
line that like really got people?
I think just because it's
silly sounding.
Well, also, isn't a chicken jockey like a rare spawn creature?
I guess,
it's like
I don't play. I played like probably half an hour of Minecraft.
That would be like. I mean, to be fair, didn't we say? I mean, not the same effect, but didn't we say like Golden Freddy? Like I feel like come on, I feel like
that's
but
funny.
like we didn't shout it in the theater, I guess, or that wasn't like the main thing.
That was prepping. That was like. I mean, I think you wouldn't have Minecraft movie without.
No, absolutely
Freddy's
not.
movie.
And it's weird because video game
You know,
movies are big now. People fucking go ape shit for the Mario movie.
Sonic the Hedgehog, guys.
Sonic, dude. Like you can't say shit about these movies on the internet without.
It's crazy that the Sonic movie is probably the best version of this.
Or a 30-year-old who only watches movies for kids getting really mad at you.
Yeah, this movie. All those movies are bad. It sucks that the Mario movie's bad.
Remember how
bad.
Remember the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which I was never expecting something good, but I don't think I was expecting it to be about like Josh Hutcherson like trying to lucid dream save his dead brother. Like that movie sucks.
But it's also kind of interesting to make it high concept. Like, I mean, I gotta hand it to him for making high concept.
I just wanted like schlock. I wanted like a bunch of animatronics running wild. I guess I wanted that Nick Cage movie, but I didn't even like that Nick Cage movie either. So
yeah, Spencer just has impossible taste.
yeah, I am taking the
Just
impossible
make a movie,
challenge.
Spencer.
Just make a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make my own Minecraft
All right.
movie.
Yeah. Are you also making pots and pans or
I'm
something
making
like that? Like, what are
I'm
you doing
making
over
pots and pans over here. I'm trying to organize my desk because
He's cooking.
I have my laptop set up and there's too much. There's too much
Yeah.
here.
there? Yeah. We gotta do now that everything's all settled in, we gotta do like an interior design episode
That
or
would be
something like
cool.
that. You know,
Yeah.
where we talk about how our rooms are.
Uh-huh. I like
and I can
this.
just flex that I have a giant room.
That's true.
Apparently.
It is a
Yeah.
pretty big room. It's a nice size.
It is. It is great, and I do love it. That's why I'm in my room all the time. But hey, let's talk about the main thing now. We're halfway through this. We're gonna talk about the main
event
conversation.
The main
That's right.
conversation.
Yeah. And so some context for this. You know, obviously I'm on TikTok. I'm in the zeitgeist, and there's a concept that extends far beyond menswear. It's called bangers only. You know, you got a playlist that's bangers only. And we sometimes say that in our little Discord. You see that in like menswear stuff. Oh yeah, bangers only. Like I only wear bangers, baby. And that got me thinking. Does every outfit have to be a banger? And before we answer that, what even is a banger? You know what I mean? Like we gotta define this kind of stuff. And as a slightly related note too, I know there's a video that Dan Hakimi, the not dress code menswear, what's his name? The second button. I'm sorry, the second button made, and he compared me and Denny. And one of the comments was like, "Oh yeah, Ethan's more consistent, but Denny has more home runs."
Whoa.
And I feel like first off that's a difference in philosophy here. I think I personally think that everything I do is a home run because I did it. I'm a conceited asshole in that way. And I know that home runs are technically different than a banger, but I think they're also related because like home runs, bangers, like they have to like they're based on other people, Yeah. So maybe we should first off talk about like, what do you guys think a banger is?
Fascinating question.
A sausage.
It's a mash.
Oh, okay. Yeah, bangers and mash. That's right.
I feel like, I don't know, I just interpret it as sometimes when I wear something, it's just one of those things where I look in the mirror and I'm like, damn, that's right. Like, fuck yeah. And it kind of goes back to what I talked about in a previous episode of just trying to judge your outfits a little bit more, objectively, I guess. Or not objectively, but just thinking about it. Not in terms of like I'm wearing this, but it's like if I saw someone wearing this outfit and all the clothes, like all the items fit in this way, what would I think? And sometimes I'm like, damn, if I was scrolling on Instagram or saw this guy just on the street, I'd be like, who's this fellow? Who is this fellow, and why is he so cool?
Yeah.
So I'd say that is just when you have that feeling, that is a banger outfit.
Yeah, it's
also
an emotional response.
Yeah, it's also that like response or that like I guess you convince yourself, no, not convince yourself, but you like, oh, I think I'll wear it again. Like while you're wearing it, like it goes into that like category in your like mind's wardrobe that
My
like
mind's wardrobe.
yeah, this is so good that like I'm gonna like tuck it back here for another day.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, kind of similar to both of that. I'm like, I like the idea that you're just instinctively like hell yeah, like there's this like
Boys will look at
like
it.
you
say,
get
"Hell
like
yeah."
stink. yeah, or like this happens to me a lot, where like, I mean, my friends all know this, like I'll be scrolling and I'll be like, damn, and people will think I'm like this like a hot girl, and then they look at like it's like a fucking suit with like a certain
We're
tie or
scrolling
whatever,
eBay,
and I'm like yeah, and so it's kind of like, yeah, I like that feeling, and but I would say that because to me it's like it's giving me an emotional response to it, and I feel like it's a banger or a home run, whatever you want to call it. Like it's still personal. I can't just be like, okay, well, when I'm looking at it, I don't go, oh, that's cool. Also, I could see that someone else might not be into this. So I'm not going to say, oh, damn to this. You know, like, I don't
Yeah.
really have that thought process. Like, I'm just like, I'm sorry, you know, like something that gives me the stank face as jazz and metal musicians will attest. Like, I get that from things that you might not assume would be those things, you know?
Yeah.
Like, again, like if you hear you hear some fucking John Williams crazy piano, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then like I know that someone will not, you play that in the street, people aren't going to be like, jive into this, you know?
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, you know, John went off. Although I guess that makes another question: is going off different than being than a banger?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's also like, is it like an impressive solo? I guess, is that really a banger?
I think it could be.
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like
It
the
could be.
definition
No, I
of
mean,
banger
yeah,
is so
yeah.
broad and vague, and that can be. I don't know. It can make the discussion a little bit difficult, but it could also. It's so up to personal interpretation. Everything here.
It's the internet's fault, actually,
Yeah.
for
But I
using that word.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah, we're mixing genres in our slang or whatever, you know. But I do think, I mean, obviously JTR has some great insight onto this and pushes back a lot. But I do kind of agree that like if I was really, you know, like we have our whole episode on like the rule of cool, and like, you know, like, okay, cool to you versus cool to other people. Like, I can still be very aware of like what other people will think is cool. And I do think with a banger, there is something there that like is colloquial, right? Like other people can like get into it. Like, even though I might not be like, even though like my favorite John Williams stuff might be too crazy and not be a banger, but like I still think the Raiders March is a fucking banger. Like that's more of a, and I think that more people would probably agree, like, okay, that is a banger in terms of like film music or orchestral music, you know, or like the William Tell Overture or fucking Beethoven's Fifth, right?
Yeah.
You know, but not like some fucking crazy piano concerto where the fucking his hands are going off, you know. And so like I mean, the origin of banger, right? It's like a song with a loud, energetic beat that is good for dancing, or in the metal sense, where like you have to literally your head banging to it, you know. That kind of, to me, that does imply like, well, there should be more of like a general, maybe not basic, but just a groove to it. You know what I mean? Like people, it's accessible and instinctual. You know, it unlocks something, and maybe like the beat or the energy to it is what makes it more of a banger. And so like again, making it harder for outfits, you know, it kind of maybe it should recontextualize it as like, well, would other people consider this a banger to make it a banger? You know, I feel like it's a little bit different than cool, but
something
I
think
like
it could
that.
also like vary from person to person. Like maybe it's like if someone looks at your outfit and I'm like, damn, that's so Ethan. This is something that only Ethan could wear. I think that gives you some extra points. But it could also be like, you know, if an artist releases an album that's completely different, it changes the game. Maybe that's exciting too. But I think it could go both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because is Tambourine Man a banger?
Yeah,
Kind of. Yeah, but is it as good of a banger as what's it called? Like a Rolling Stone, which is a little bit more.
I
like
a Rolling Stone just more than that song, but again, this is like completely objective. I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's because it has this element and this element. I just like a Rolling Stone more.
Yeah, electric. Well, yeah, does electricity make it more of a banger?
I like the
actually?
Turtles version of Mr. Tambourine a lot. That one's good. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Play Mr. Tambourine Man. Remember that
How could I forget?
little thing there?
I was there.
Yeah. Yeah. I also wonder too, like, okay, well, how about this? What is some of your banger outfits? Like ones that you're like, damn, this is a banger. And I'm gonna say, yeah.
Well, I was gonna talk about.
Go first.
A lot of my bangerist outfits just come from. I don't know. A lot of them. I feel like I'm getting basic, not like basic, but I'm just like less inclined to like go really crazy with outfits. I'm like, you know what? I do just kind of like, you know, like a undone work shirt with like a sport coat and some cool pants or something. But like I feel like a lot of my banger outfits come from spontaneity. Because like sometimes I'll like lay out outfits and I'll plan stuff for like like events that I have coming up. But then a lot of times on the day of, like I like the opportunity to get dressed and then change things out because I feel like I'm very fickle, and I feel like I have moods, and like if something doesn't fit my mood right then and there, like I'm gonna always be like second guessing myself. But if I have the opportunity to just be like, you know what, I did this yesterday. I was gonna wear boots out, but then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wear like my 70s Nike sneakers, and it like changed the vibe. But I like that a little bit more than if I'd just done boots. Sometimes it's like I don't know. I feel like a lot of my banger outfits are also like when I'm dressing up for work and I'm like wearing ties and like my slacks, and I just like how I look, and I'm like I want to run an errand so like more people see me. Like I want to walk around. I want to go outside. And so it's that kind of thing. A lot of it is just putting stuff together in the moment and like the spontaneity and experimentation, stuff like that.
But does that make it a banger for you?
It doesn't make it a banger, but it is a process that helps me produce bangers. It will not always be a banger, but it's a reliable process. Okay. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, interesting take, because obviously for me everything is so particular. But MJ, what about you? What do you like? What would you say is like some of your banger fits, or like how do you put together a banger? Like, can you intentionally do it? I guess you can definitely intentionally put together a banger. I mean, most bangers today are produced entirely to be bangers.
I mean, we're at that point where we just think about like our outfits or like our articles, like so deeply, I guess. But off the top of my head, I have my barong like fits like probably near the top there or at the top. The leather jackets too seem to be like ones where every time I wear it, it's like, this is one, like this is a banger. This is one for the books.
We're gonna keep that in your head, but keep going, MJ.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, well, kind of like for Spencer, like the process is a big part, but I think in particular it starts from like certain pieces or certain vibes that come with those pieces that will lead to the bangers, because like it's just when you start from like one thing and just like branches off into like, okay, the best pants that I have that I wear with these like usually lead to like the same pool of like items until you get to that full outfit.
Yeah, things are more cohesive, like when you start out with a specific item. I mean, there's been a couple of comments in our Discord about like the bangers only thing applies to what you acquire. Like there's no, or the opposite, no bench warmers, right? Like nothing in your closet should be just like not that it can be basic, but it's like you should be exciting. It should be cool, like
right?
There's a whole thing
no
to that.
filler outfits.
Exactly. Yeah. You could, but it's like one of those things where like you could argue that like someone could have a closet full of like really, really cool items, like Wisdom K. You guys remember that guy, the TikTok guy, right? Yeah. He's, I don't think he has any fillers, right? There might be things that are like, like maybe like a plain Rick Owens pant as like a grounding piece because it's just plain black. But I would argue like the pants probably are like really cool regardless, And so I feel like, what you're getting onto there, MJ, is like sometimes elements. Like there can be like banger pieces that just lead to banger outfits. Like it's kind of hard not to have a banger of a fit when you're wearing like a black double rider, right? Like it just instantly makes something like just like cooler, or Spencer when Spencer wears like the black Western pants, like there are just like things that help in that way. But then I guess if we're gonna make the musical analogy to this, it's like if you're putting like cool seventh chords that just add a little crunch to the song or whatever, that's gonna be better than just playing a straight up triad, just C E G, whatever, like that obviously adding in that extra oomph is gonna make the song that much cooler. That's why like a jazz rendition of like a regular song is like okay, like you're kind of getting on there, or even like for example adding instruments, right? Like I know we should have started with this, but there's the clip of what's it called of Aziz Ansari playing Tom Haverford, where he's like, every time I add a song to a playlist, it goes through one rigorous test. Is it a banger? And he's like, okay, I'm talking about beats per minute. I'm talking about drops. I'm talking a complete lack of acoustic instruments, and like kind of like what we talked about with Bob Dylan. It's like, okay, like obviously electric guitar is like it's a cool instrument. I can't deny it. So like adding that into a song, does that just make it better than just playing like a regular ass acoustic? Like. And acoustics, I mean, maybe for JTR, acoustic can be a good song, but does that make it a banger? And then if we're talking about like the headbanging aspect to it, that is an interesting quality to think about with this kind of stuff. Like, can you have a banger with like a t-shirt and jeans?
Well, I don't know if it's like a banger, but it's like sometimes like it's
a good fit. Yeah, right.
Like they don't all have to be bangers. I feel like that's I don't know. Life's too short to be worried about that. And of course, I've never worn an outfit that I like really dislike, because I like all my clothes and I enjoy wearing them, but I don't feel the need to like constantly be outdoing myself. I'm pretty content with my style as it is. Yeah.
I mean, I think that it depends on how you do it, right? Like, but t-shirt and jeans and like sneakers, maybe not a banger, but like you add in like cowboy boots or like a heeled boot, or do like flared jeans, like okay, that's kind of a banger. Like things just, I don't know, like things have to go like hard, I think, and I think going hard requires some kind of not intentionality, but like there is something to it. It's a type of action that you're doing, or a quality of a piece that just kind of like leads into it, like. It's got to be very pointed, and I guess sneakers, jeans, and t-shirt is pointed. That's an aesthetic, but I guess in my head, like t-shirt, jeans, and like deck shoes, maybe not as much of a banger. But like if it's like a bit more like ALD focused, or I guess if you accessorize and make the fit more interesting, maybe that makes it more of a banger. I guess.
I think it like details can make or break something.
Yeah, because. When I think about my own fits, I don't think I dress like basic, or not basic, simply much at all. There's always like something kind of interesting about it. Like, like even though I have nothing wrong with plain t-shirts, and I do wear them, usually when I wear a plain t-shirt, I'm wearing like a sport coat on top. And if I'm wearing it just arms out, I'm wearing like a merch t-shirt, like a Star Wars t-shirt. And I feel like that kind of adds an element to the entire fit, right? Like wearing a Star Wars t-shirt with trousers or with flared jeans with cowboy boots is a little bit different, again, than wearing like plain t-shirt with plain jeans and like sneakers, And then like whenever I wear like a suit and tie or a sport coat and tie, like I'm not usually wearing like plain, right? Like I'm usually wearing like a striped shirt or a geometric tie, and to me that makes it a banger, or at least relatively speaking, like I'm trying to, it's going a little bit hard, like that's why I like apparel arts, because I always feel like every fit kind of just goes hard, in comparison to what a normal person might wear for a suit and tie today, right? Like a plain navy suit, plain white shirt, plain like a black satin tie, or whatever. I feel like to me the complexity or just the additional elements make it go hard. It makes apparel arts to be more of a banger. And I can't believe I'm thinking about this right now. Maybe it has to be within the context of or conversation of like other outfits, whether it's for yourself or with like other people, you know what I mean? Like, it is funny, right? Like I sometimes get a little bit of like an inferiority complex when I'm out like at a cool bar, or like even like 4100, for example, where like there's a lot of like cool TikTok guys, or like the kind of like Silver Lake hipster guy there. Mm-hmm. And I don't hate it, even if it is like zeitgeist or repeatable, but like, I can agree, like more people would say that, baggy pants with a cropped t-shirt and a trucker cap, like that goes hard more, whatever. But what's funny is that occasionally those guys will walk up to me like, dude, fire fit, man. And this happened last night. I'm wearing white Bucks, a Hollywood waist trousers, a houndstooth jacket, and they're like, dude, like you're dressed really great. And I go, oh, thanks. Like it really makes me feel good. Like, like when arguably someone who is dressed, quote, cooler than I am, pays me a compliment. And it's like, maybe it is, yeah, because like in the context, maybe, like in this bar, everyone's dressed like them. And yet there's, me wearing a fucking necktie, drinking a fucking like gin and tonic because I don't want to pay full price for a regular ass cocktail. And we're all smoking cigs. But I feel like it's, like, there is that element to it. And if we think about that way, maybe that's why I like apparel arts more than a regular thing, or that's also why I can agree, if we're talking about like the whole home run versus like consistency thing. Like, I do think that more people would think that my banger fits, which is usually like when I'm wearing like flared jeans, wearing all black, or doing like a more casual take. People might consider those more of like an Ethan banger than like my typical apparel arts, because they're seeing it as different and more of like a arguably more accessible, because it's more casual approach to an outfit compared to the rest of my canon. So there is this kind of like contextual, in conversation-esque element to a banger. I don't know, what do you guys think? Like, do you think that affects what you guys think of yourselves, or which outfits of yours are bangers?
I don't know. I feel like sometimes I want to fit in with the general vibe, like not dress like anyone else necessarily, but not be so like radically different, like look like I belong in some way. But yeah, again, like I don't know, I feel like I typically dress for whatever the occasion is. So if we're going to like I don't know, fucking like Musso and Frank's for like a friend's birthday or something, then I'm gonna be dressing differently than if we're going to just like a bar in Silver Lake. But like there are also times where it's like every day when I'm at work, like I'm the only one who wears it like a tie. Like even like the people higher up than me aren't wearing ties to work, and I don't really care. Like I feel like in that way I've kind of set myself apart in that, like, oh, this is just my style, this is how I dress. And I think the other element of at least personally for me, of an outfit being quote unquote banger or not, it's like, have I successfully captured the vibe that I was going for today? Like if I've done it and I think I've really got it, then that's gonna make me feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole idea with a banger outfit is like it's got to feel intentional. Like, you, again, to go back to what I said before, like, oh, you did that, you know what I mean? And I think a good way to judge that might be to be like, okay, instead of just wearing clothes, like if people can feel the intentionality to it, and and maybe because with me with suits, it's like it's the, just like we talked about with Sirhan in the beginning, like some people might on paper, like in theory, assume like, oh, you're wearing a sport coat and tie, like, oh, it must be so boring. But then you see it out and like, okay, Ethan, you're doing that. I mean, I'm assuming that's what they're thinking in their head when they see me wear white bucks and a houndstooth jacket to the bar. But I do think there's a little bit of that. It's kind of like this little push forward of like intentionally doing a certain vibe. Like, again, would people think that I'm wearing a banger when I'm like around like true vintage heads? Maybe not, actually, because I'm not wearing true, I guess, other than my pants. But like, they might be like, oh, Ethan's not wearing a fucking belt back, or it's not a 30s jacket. It's because I think of those things. I think Benny would be wearing bangers. I think Benny also wears bangers consistently.
Benny bangers?
I feel like as well.
Benny wears
bangers,
bangers. That's a good.
Yeah, Benny banger.
That's right.
Yeah. Sorry, Benny Blanco. Yeah, I think. Okay, well, I think Spencer kind of hit something else here. Like, when do you like when do you pull out your bangers? I guess with Spencer, your stories make it sound like you never know when it's gonna happen.
For some events, I'll really try.
It's a surprise
to like put something together, like think about it, like sit down and visualize the best possible outfit. But I don't know. There's, like I said, I very rarely leave the house and I'm like unhappy with what I'm wearing, but. Like I said, if I'm given that opportunity to kind of experiment and try different things and just be like, what do I want to do today? Then I feel like that helps me. So yes, there are some outfits that just kind of like happen spontaneously that I like more than others. But
But I mean, usually I feel like you'll
Yeah,
dress more of a
exactly.
banger way. You'll go hard when like there's like an occasion. I feel like, right? Like I
Uh-huh.
mean, like your Valentine's Eden's Valentine's party fit from like 2 years ago. I think that was a really good like one of your
Yeah.
goated fits. Kind of like the
Yeah, that
black
was good.
Western
I like
pants with
that. And I
the
think that
horse
was
bits
something
and
that
then
kind
the
of like
open shirt with the
maybe
sport.
tried
with the
on like a
sport,
couple different jackets the
workout.
day of and landed on that. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're composing in
gotta
the
release.
closet before you're able to
Yeah.
release the banger. Yeah. Well, MJ, what about you? Do you? I mean, I feel like you also like looking back at your fits too. Like obviously, if I know that you're going on a date with Eden, or like we're going out, you'll dress more in like that banger thing versus like going to work or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it just helps with.
Did you turn away from the mic to breathe?
Kinda figures
No,
the
the
reverse
reverse
of
actually
breathing.
to cough.
Okay. Yeah.
The air was going
Chocolate
out
rain.
instead of in.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole like dressing for the occasion, it also just helps because it gets the brain juices flowing about what you actually want to wear.
Yeah.
And then like, I mean, it's just being able to like, I guess communicate through your outfit that like, I mean, not necessarily like a hey look at me, but like it's like for the people that know, it'll communicate like, oh, this guy like he has intention behind it. He has like he was able to like get the idea from his brain into what he actually wants to wear for whether it is like a certain occasion or just like going out.
Yeah. I mean, it's always good to frame your mind after like what POV you want to do. I mean, like okay, like today for example, the day of recording, I'm gonna go to the Getty, and I feel like whenever I go to the museum, I want to dress something that goes hard, not because I know people will see me and I want people to think I'm a cool artsy guy, but also because like that's kind of an occasion to me, obviously. Yeah, where like it's like. I don't go to the museum
fatigue.
every week. I don't want to get fatigued from like seeing the same art, especially if the art of the museum doesn't have, because most museums, especially like the Getty or like the Norton Simon, which are my favorite ones here in LA, they don't really have revolving, exhibits that often. So it's like there's no need to go like every other week or something like that. So going to a museum is indeed an occasion. It's like you kind of want to go hard, just like I don't know. I guess like bangers only, I guess, but like. I go like my bangers come out more, or like there's a more of a crazier banger or something like that whenever I do this kind of thing. And so for example, so today I'm wearing like my chocolate brown suit with like a dark shirt and like a pattern tie, which kind of goes high. It's edgier, which I feel like makes it more more banger friendly, I guess, compared to just wearing like if I was wearing like a blue striped shirt or even like a plain shirt. I feel like that kind of happens there. Or like if I have a date, sometimes I'll dress in service of that, or more in service, like I'll wear something dark, and this kind of goes back to what we said with Connor, and like we said earlier, where like some items just kind of lend themselves to becoming banger like fits, like a navy pinstripe suit. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard not to have a banger every time you wear that. Just same thing with again a black double rider or like black side zip boots.
Yeah.
And if people are concerned with wearing or like, oh, I got to do bangers only, like it is true that I think you have to have like the items that kind of like help in that way. Although I will say that if things are basic, like a navy suit or like a pair of blue jeans, for example, they have to be cool in their own way. As in, like my navy suit has wide leg pants and soft shoulders and wide lapels, and so it doesn't feel like I'm just wearing a navy suit. Like this is still a very intentional or interesting, dramatic, whatever you want to call it, that lends it to being a banger. It's like whenever I wear a navy suit, even if it's my single-breasted variation versus the DB. If I wore that with like a brocade tie and like a club collar shirt, that's kind of to me that's a fucking banger ass fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's so 30s. But also that could also be leaning onto the
I think
to
that
the
could definitely
brocade tie,
help.
because
Yeah,
brocade
just like
ties are
the
bangers in
individual
themselves.
items themselves, and it's like the same thing. If you're talking about like if I'm going to the store and I'm just wearing like jeans and a t-shirt and like a short coat, like I'm not saying that that's a banger outfit, and I wonder how many times we're saying banger in this episode. But it's like still an outfit I like, and
Banger.
exactly. It's still an outfit I like.
Yeah, take a
but
shot
it's
every
like,
time
I
to get
think it's
alcohol
helped by the
poisoning.
fact that like
Blacked out.
I've got
already.
cool jeans and cool t-shirts and cool sneakers and cool navy short coats that are not like the shit that you would get at like H&M or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're excited by everything in the wardrobe. No, it's like this one time when I went to go to get ice cream on this little ice cream date, and it was, what's funny is like, okay, I'm like, it was like at 11 o'clock because she got off at like 10:30, and I wore like my vintage 60s hoodie with like a polo coat and like my trusty sweatpants that have like a little bit of like a racing stripe or like a athletic stripe, and then like white socks and penny loafers. And yeah, that's really lazy. But that fit kind of goes hard too, you know what I mean? Like all of those elements all together. I mean, in New York, maybe that's a commonplace errand outfit, but I've always liked that idea. Like, you see like that the New Balance, that the iconic New Balance poster where it's like old people wearing like a big overcoat, hoodie, New Balance, and a beanie. Like, I think that looks so cool to me. It's classic sportswear with like a tailored item with slouch to it,
Yeah.
And I feel like, again, like all those pieces, because like those are cool. Like a big chunky double-breasted polo coat isn't just like a fucking like
It's got
Arc'teryx
something to
windbreaker.
it.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like
Yeah.
or like a cool like. There's a sauce to it. I don't mean, hey, maybe like the secret to
Sauce.
bangers is having sauce, little bangers and sauce.
Yes.
But I would say here, let's finish off with the this final discussion point here. Do you really think every outfit has to be a banger? Because obviously, for all of us, we have a lot of agency over what we wear. Do you think that every outfit should be a banger? And sorry, I heard someone talking outside. And do you feel the pressure to make it a banger, or do you think that you would get a pressure to do that?
Nah, I don't feel pressure
Okay.
to do it. Like, again, it's
No.
I don't feel pressure for it. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
I like challenging myself with fashion. I like pushing myself, but I don't know.
Yeah,
A lot of the
like
times
you gotta be
I don't
excited
wanna-
about what you wear, right?
Yeah, but a lot of times I don't really like, or I don't need that pressure. Like, it's fashion is it's fun. It's how I express myself, and I like just kind of like finding that expression and not being like I need to find the perfect expression, but just finding what feels right in the moment.
Yeah, I really like that, because Zeometer says like he says it's possible to wear exciting garments or outfits that you're excited to put together without it being a banger, but the issue is whether to what degree is a fit successful. And I think you kind of hit it there with like it kind of depends on what your intentionality is, like what vibe you're going for, and sometimes maybe the vibe that you're going for isn't necessarily to go hard, but you can go hard in your own way.
Yeah,
maybe
I think
Yeah,
on that same thought is also to not feel disappointed in what you've put together.
Ooh, that's a good yeah.
Because even though like we literally just read, it's like maybe it wasn't a banger, or wasn't like you didn't go as hard as you would have like
Previous
for,
ones,
yeah,
yeah.
for like a certain occasion or a certain day or whatever. It's you still put it together and you feel good about it, that you didn't like, oh well, I wish I
satisfied.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could have picked something or thought of something better for for whatever you've worn for a regular day.
Yeah, I guess it kind of is, I guess the reason why we're doing this episode, with social media kind of being the spur of this, thanks to Dan and related discussions. But, I think, to the degree of how successful or like how good a fit does tie to like social media in a way, because I think that that's where you post your fits, that's where we exist largely, especially for me, right, as someone who like works from home and everything like that. There's an idea like if the fit doesn't perform well, if it's not shared, if it's not getting the engagement, it's not a banger, because literally, like, again, if you put out a great song, it doesn't become the song of the summer. Did you really make a good song? I would argue yes, but I think some people who base it, or who have more stock in social media, you could call them chronically online, but like, yeah, they might get caught up in that, and I could see that becoming extremely exhausting. And it goes back to what Spencer says, like I couldn't imagine like wondering if my fit is cool, if people are gonna like it. That sounds awful. But I do think that kind of like puts a whole spin on this conversation, and I think obviously it's clear that us and our Discord probably, and people who are nice and smart and everything,
there's the
kids are awake.
Yeah, those kids.
Yeah, those
man.
are the kids. It really goes to show that, like, that the social media is so important, and it's kind of hard not to look at fashion in without that lens. And that also kind of applies to buying pieces of clothing. Like, oh, is this a banger piece or whatever? I always feel like it's got to start from like within a little bit. You got to like really enjoy it, because I just can't imagine is this successful because it's not hitting? You know what I mean? And I think it's always hard for me every once in a while, because some of my fits do surprisingly so well sometimes, even though I think people are gonna hate it, And there's been a couple times lately where like the TikTok kind of goes off for some random reason. I don't know why it's some fit dumps over others. It could be the song choice I picked, or there's a lot of elements to the TikTok algorithm that I just can't control. But it's like, when I look at my fit dumps, especially in conversation with each other in the sets of 10 or whatever, I'm like, damn, each fit goes hard. These are all bangers, you know what I mean? And maybe again that just comes with me being like in conversation with myself, because I think it's too easy for me to wear side zip boots and black flared jeans all the time. To me, that's not a banger, and it's not because maybe it's about dilution or whatever.
Yeah.
But to me, one of the reasons why I do side zip suits one day and then the next day I do apparel arts with like a brown check jacket, it's because I'm like, this is going hard in a completely different direction, and that makes it a banger also. And I think with my fit dumps, I'm able to kind of see that in action, where like one day I'm wearing like a merch t-shirt with like just my selvage jeans and like slippers, and then the next fit is like fucking Tyrolean hat with barber jacket or something like that. And that's also because it's still kind of cold in LA, so that's why it goes back and forth. It's not because I'm just doing it for the content. I still dress for the weather, but it's like, seeing those two things next to each other, it's like they become bangers on their own because of just how different the vibe is, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. Like I think it's interesting to kind of recontextualize in terms of social media, but I feel like it should always come from like a personal, like what makes you excited, and it can help that social media can bolster it, but I think that even if a fit doesn't do well, doesn't mean you didn't make a banger.
Yeah.
It just means people didn't see it.
Because listen, if we're going back to the music analogy, there's so many Egyptian Shumba by the Tammys, completely unappreciated in its time. Never a big hit, but listen to that song, and I think you will agree it's one of the best bangers of all time. But there's, I don't know, that's so much. There's so much that doesn't get appreciated, but it's still really good. I think tying the value of your outfit to like how many likes it gets on social media, you're gonna kill yourself, dog.
Yeah.
You're gonna end your own life, dude.
You're gonna fucking kill yourself. Because I think that I can appreciate all types of music, even though if I am a little bit of bias, right? Because like I love composing, so like certain things I'm like, okay, this is more of a banger to me. Again, do with crazy piano stuff, but I can also agree, like Beethoven's Fifth goes hard, even if it is like common or whatever. Firework by Katy Perry. It's kind of hard not to dance to it, but also fucking crazy ass jazz. There's an album called Music for Airplanes, which is insane. You guys gotta look that one up. It's fucking crazy.
That's not music for airports, right? Not the Brian Eno thing, but different.
No, okay. This is Music for Airplanes. I think it's like an Iranian kind of like jazz-ish, with local instruments. Like it's fucking awesome. And some of it, I don't know if it's all meant to be like ambient music, because some of it, the groove kind of goes hard. Maybe it's not all bangers, granted. Maybe like you could consider some of it to be a little bit more like softer or whatever. But there's some in that I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy, Shout out Miranda for showing me that one. That's a really cool song. But yeah, I think tying it to like online stuff is just that's just really exhausting. But that's just how more people have it. They got the fits got to pop off. We literally had the episode of like fit pics are dead because people aren't getting the same engagement anymore. I feel that's such a crazy ass way to like approach dressing or this whole fucking like hobby. But if anything, guys, I think you can strive to have every bang or fit be a banger, or at least make every outfit be something that you're proud of. I think that's a good way to do it, And I think if we didn't really talk about the element of attitude to it, but like if you're wearing an outfit, you're gonna feel good in it, and you might feel like it's a banger. You know what I mean? Like again, like this kind of ties to the whole like to me with John Williams. Like I love John Williams, and everything he does is so good to me, and it to me that like kind of I can groove to all of his stuff. Like I mean, you guys can see it in the car. Like I'm like fucking like I will literally headbang to like a fucking crazy ass, and it's not Duel of the Fates. It's not the basic bitch stuff. Okay, like this is the niche, the really complicated shit that I like. But like because it just the attitude in it that I can feel like John Williams is going hard or whatever. Like it just makes me enjoy it more. And when I dive deep on what I like, it really makes everything be a banger. Like, and if we just think about the pure emotional aspect of it, like not like, okay, it's got to be energetic. Like if we just talk about like the energy that you elicit from the piece, I think I only have bangers in my playlists. Like even if people don't think so, but like I will groove to every song, and like I'm like excited for every song in there. Yeah. It's like when I sing, like whenever like my karaoke playlist. I mean, maybe this is the whole like wicked. It's not a wicked issue where like every song is a fucking like a. What do you call it? Like a belt song, like not everything is Defying Gravity, but I love singing every single song that comes up. I'm excited to do it, and I think that's the thing you want from your outfits or from your clothes, even like you said, like no bench warmers.
None.
It doesn't mean that Spencer doesn't have basic blue jeans or a blue OCBD or like or khakis. Like we own those things. Those are more basic than or more simple or tame compared to a double rider or a pinstripe suit. But it's kind of like how you wear it. If it makes you happy, if it excites you, that's what matters. And then you'll make banger fits, at least to yourself. You'll be like, damn, I did that. And that's the whole point of dressing up, I think. If you can't say that, if you can't look up and down and be like, shit, hell yeah,
Damn it!
Fuck, I'm gonna fuck myself
right now. Shit.
I just reminded of my favorite 3-panel comic of a guy reading a book called How to Fuck This Book, and then the last panel is him saying, I'm gonna fuck this book.
Presumably.
Well, yeah, presumably. I love that. And that's a banger of a comic, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy. Maybe he did know that was gonna. I don't even think it did well because I don't think people really know about three-word phrase or whatever. Maybe they do. Maybe like in comic circles, this is just another generic
maybe it's like
Susan
maybe this is like the Velvet Underground of comics, though, where not everyone saw this, but everyone who did,
I agree with
making their own webcomic.
I like how me and MJ both got it because it's we're hearing the same thing. No, totally. I definitely agree. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this discussion. Thanks to the Discord for kind of bringing up some of these talking points and everything like that. It really helps us put this episode together. And so if you guys want to get in on the discussion action, get into the meat and potatoes, the bangers and mash, or what do we say, the bangers and sauce, I guess. Yeah, bangers, the sauce. You can go to Patreon. Yeah, patreon.com/downdirection. $5 a month gives you access to our Discord. You get to talk about stuff like this for us. We talk about new things. There's a lot of great discussion. I say it every single time, but I really appreciate and enjoy the community that we've made. These are some of the best menswear guys in the world, the universe. I'll say we're including those crazy spacefaring planets that have to go to Mars and have to get the parrot or the equivalent of it over there or something, because that's where they're from. They're from space. Mm-hmm. They're from space, everybody. But yeah, $5 a month gives you access to that, as well as our cabal, our cabal of bonus episodes where we talk about movie style, like the Philadelphia Story. We're talking Back to the Future, I think. We're talking Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, which will come out, I think, after this episode. So $5 a month. 10, double it, 2 5s, baby. Nothing. You get nothing other than MJ thanking you. And MJ, who we're on the website this time, right? We're gonna go on the website.
We're refreshed and we're
refreshed. Active participants. No one's getting any free mentions this time.
If you got a bonus last time, you're welcome.
Fuck you. Give us the $5. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, MJ. Who are we thanking?
Our sidecast fanatics are Alexander Batten, Mason Ritchie, Henrik Wilberg, Philip Krigard, and Shane Curry.
We appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to follow the Instagram at Style and Direction. You can follow me at Ethan M. Wong.
I'm at Spencer DSO.
And I'm at Aya MJ.
We appreciate you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.